Hey everyone, I hope you're staying safe. I'm doing everything I can to stay safe. You got to do it. That's just the way it is. I wanted to talk a little bit about staying safe and how I am going to be conducting classes, and maybe give some other martial art people some things to think about. I mean, in this COVID-19 era, martial arts, teaching martial arts, doing martial arts, especially teaching it, is going to be a little bit tricky. When we first learned about COVID-19, but before there was a state lockdown, I had my students, we started practicing social distancing. I elected that we would only work on forms or things where we would not be in contact with each other, that we could keep a safe distance, 6 feet or more. We generally worked outside. Occasionally we worked on the Mukyang Jong. I had a container of wipes placed by the Mukyang Jong, and the requirement was that you take out a wipe and you wipe down the Mukyang Jong, and then you work on it, and then when you're done you take out another wipe and you wipe it down again. First time you wipe it down for your own protection, the second time you wipe it down in case your partner or school buddy is not thinking. So we wanted to be protected. When a state lockdown took place, I stopped classes. I did not want to subject students to possibly receiving a misdemeanor fine for being out and about trying to come to classes, but that has been lifted, and so we're going to go back into starting classes on May 2nd. But for a while we will continue with the social distancing, just working on forms and concepts and things that the individual can do. This is possible in many martial arts, especially martial arts that have forms, kata, but it's not possible in a lot of them. Judo, jiu-jitsu in particular, BJJ, and ultimately you can't learn everything that you need to know without making contact. And so I'm looking ahead to what we're going to do, what I'm going to do with my class and my students, and maybe this will give some thought to other martial artists on what they may need to do. Of course, obviously, if you're going to train inside, the school needs to be clean. That should go without saying anyway. But definitely in this environment, the school should be clean. Looking ahead to when we can start making some contact, I am requiring my students to wear long sleeve shirts. I'm wearing my older KDA Wing Chun shirt. We don't use the KDA logo anymore. But long sleeve shirts, some sort of glove that doesn't have a lot of stitching on it. I was looking on Amazon the other day. You can get like 12 pair of white cotton gloves for like $8, $10. Something like that, so that you're not making direct contact. If anything gets on skin, you can remove it, right? That people will be wearing masks, and myself and most of my students, we already have eye protection built in. But for those students that don't, just some sort of eye protection. Not so much for protecting from dodzi or anything like that, but spittle, snot. When you get into contact, stuff flies, and in your eyes is an avenue. Here in the South, in the summer, I will admit, this is going to be uncomfortable. Oh, I also should mention long pants, socks, and shoes. A lot of people do not like to train with shoes. I've said for years, two in particular things. One, when you get a bunch of sweaty guys grunting and rolling around on the floor, and then you decide to walk in that, well, that's on you. And two, if you can't do your art in shoes because you're always training out of shoes, then self-defense is not your concern. Because I doubt you're going to be in the mall barefooted or out on the street barefooted. There are some people who are, and, you know, go your way, that's fine. But generally speaking, you need to be able to train at least some in shoes. Granted, schools with mats, they have to be careful with the mats. But in this case, weather permitting, we're generally going to be practicing outside in order to keep some social distancing. Shoes. When we get to where we're allowing to make some contact, which will be limited at first at chi-sao and that sort of thing, it's still shoes. Still, you should cover up. At least while we're protecting ourselves from disease. So this is just something I want to put out. I want my students to be aware of this. In the near future, we will still keep it social distance. We will continue to work forms. Not too long from now, in a couple of months, when things really start to settle in, if we don't get hit by a big second wave, I have a big concern about that, especially here in the South. South Carolina has just been given an F rating in social distancing. There could be a strong second wave coming. But if we don't get hit by a big second wave, or on the other side of that second wave, there's going to come a point where we have to start training back, getting in contact with each other, in which case we will start with these protections that I talked about. I hope everybody's staying safe. This is the first video of this nature that I've done. I intend to start doing more of these. Maybe picking up some of my older blog articles and talking them through and being able to provide some visual examples. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're still thinking about your martial art. For my Wing Chun students, I hope you're training your forms. You know who I'm talking to. Have a great day, y'all.